sort of like going to the doctor, and the doctor says, all right, hey, Robin, I want you to start taking these pills. And you're like, wait a minute, you don't know what's wrong with me yet. I haven't said anything. So you need to figure out like what you're looking for first. And then after that, then the product comes last. So, it's not like a, one trick, pony sort of thing. It's just more of the consultation first, then kind of build up to the product last.
What questions do you guys have about any of these non-retirement accounts? And I know some of the people who are on are business owners and trying to make the best decisions after leaving the school system, or still in the school system, might be transitioning, and they want to do it with peace of mind and understanding what to do. So like, does anybody have any questions about that? Is there anybody doing something already that's working that you can maybe add to the group? Knowledge you can add.
I have a question.
Sure,
I have a question. Hi guys. I have a question about stocks. So it's been something in my mind, to do. My husband and I talk about it. And especially because there are things that we feel like we should own stock in because we put so much money into them, like Starbucks or like our Apple products or like Samsung and all those things, and Amazon, oh Lord. So things like that, do you suggest to go, I mean, I don't know, you probably wouldn't suggest that, but what do you think about like Robinhood? Should you like, because I know that's I feel like it's for amateurs, but still if you don't know what you're doing, you just don't know what you're doing. So, when you're just starting out, what do you suggest about, as far as stocks, like where to start with that? I know you did talk about consultation kind of building, but if you can expand.
Sure. Yeah, no. So definitely good question, good feedback. So one thing I would say as it relates to stocks, and this is kind of, I guess, piggybacking on what you just said about those other companies, right, that you use every day. Go with things that you understand. Right. Go with companies you use every single day. If you, get a cup of coffee, every single day, if you buy a particular pair of shoes and that's your go-to pair of shoes, if you brush your teeth with this particular product, if you wash up with this particular product, those are things that, have been around for years and years and years. So these are companies that are more sustainable. A lot of times companies, that, are going to, be around. So, and companies that, about. So that's kind of where to start, kind of stick to what you know, because that way, at least you're like, all right, I'm putting my money in this and I know it could fluctuate, but I know I've been brushing my teeth with the same toothpaste since I was 2 years old. And I'm still brushing my teeth with the same toothpaste. So who makes this toothpaste? I'm going to invest in them, right? The next thing, if it's something where you're trying to get out of companies, that you typically use, always do your research, right? Know about these particular companies, because if you're just going into investing in these companies because somebody else told you, if that company loses money, you're going to be like, you gave me bad advice, like, why'd you tell me that? I shouldn't did that. But reality is that company may be losing money at the period of time, but in maybe a few years, because you understand how that company works and you believe in what they're doing, that company may start to go the other direction. And that allows you to keep your money into that account, because a lot of times, especially what's happening now, people are kind of getting these knee-jerk reactions because the market, fluctuates. We can't control that. And they pull their money out of individual stocks. We're talking about stocks, not mutual funds, but individual stocks. So with that, you pull your money out at the wrong time. A lot of people, they sell and buy, at the wrong time. So I hope that answered your question. But yeah, first start with companies that you know. And if you don't know and you hear about a different company, somebody says, hey, Letitia, this is invest in this, or you do your research. And there's different websites you can go on and you can just do your research on that company, and that will give you a better understanding of what you're putting your money in. Because at the end of the day, like, why invest your money into, especially like a stock, if you don't have any idea about what you're investing in?
So just to follow up to that, am I looking for sustainability, or am I looking for how well they do? Like, what am I looking for? So if I go on this hunt, because, as an educator, I can research, we can go down a whole rabbit hole and we could be there forever, right?
Mhm.
So like, what am I looking for in this endeavor? Like, I'm going to research Amazon. What am I looking for to so I can determine whether or not this is a good spot? Like,
Yeah, good question. So you're looking for the fundamentals. You're looking for one, what did they sell? Right? What did they sell? What service do they offer? What have been, and this is assuming it's not a brand new company, what have been their returns, the rate of return since inception or over a period of time? If there's, are they, what we call recession proof, right? If something were to happen, where people didn't utilize, we didn't go outside as much anymore, or, the price of gas or just different things like that, how well would they fare out? So you want to look at the fundamentals, their rate of returns, what they, the products they offer, the service or products that they sell, the services that they offer, and also like what are their sales, who the people that run this company, what direction are they going in, like kind of what do they believe in as well, because that will also tell you, what the direction the company is going in, and then maybe you align with that or maybe you don't align with that. And then also, like I said, looking at the rates of return since inception. Okay, I know you did good last year, I know you did good the year before that, but how have you done since you started? Because there's been different cycles, right, that we have in the market in the country. So how well have you done, depending on, what has happened. So those are some, key ways, quick ways you can kind of start to get your feet wet, so to speak, and kind of dive a little deeper into those companies. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions before I move on? Okay. All right, so moving on. All right, so now let's talk about cash value life insurance as another way to build generational wealth, also build, wealth for yourself. So before I even get into this slide, again, life insurance is a whole other series, whole other, I can talk hours and hours about life insurance, right? A lot of people don't understand that life insurance is not only used for a death benefit, which is a great way to build generational wealth, but also as a way for you to save money and build wealth for yourself. So there's a concept that I talk about, and again, in the life insurance series, of becoming your own bank, right? So of course we go to the bank and we, put our money in the bank. The bank, gives us a little bit of interest. They turn around, they take our money and loan it to somebody else for a lot more interest than we get. With a life insurance policy, you can actually put money in, and it, has the growth potential to grow and take loans or take money out of your own account while it's growing. And the interest that you would pay on the money that you're loaning yourself, how you would go to the bank, goes right back into your own pocket, right? So that's a way you're able to build, wealth for yourself, and also, build wealth for generations. So, I'm a big proponent of creating your own bank. A lot of people don't really understand the full capacity of what life insurance can do. Not talking about term insurance, but these insurances that I have here on the screen. Some people will use that as a way for retirement planning, period. A lot of big major companies, their executives, they get these cash value life insurance plans, and the company puts money in for them. And then also as a business owner, and this is a whole other series. Now I'm just bringing a different series right now, but as a business owner, there's ways to protect. Like if you do have an employee, a partner, right, that you're working with, or you plan to bring on a partner, what happens if you pass away? What happens to your shares, right, of the company that you've helped build? Does your child or your beneficiary become the owner, or are you bought out? So that's again a different series. I gotta digress. I won't get into all that right now. So let's stay on task. So whole life insurance. Whole life insurance is permanent, and these are all forms of permanent life insurance. Whole life insurance typically pays a guaranteed interest rate that you receive on the money while you contribute to the account. You have universal life, which has market-based investments. variable universal life that typically has a bunch of different investment options that you can invest in, almost similar, if not the same investment options that you would have in your 403b or 401k or traditional IRA. And then you have index universal life, which are based on the indexes in the stock market, like S&P 500 and things like that, which I won't go down that rabbit hole. But basically, the point here is that you can put money into a life insurance policy, and not only does it give you a death benefit that you pass on as generational wealth to your beneficiaries, it also gives you cash that you can take money from yourself and put it back if you want to. So again, this is, one of the ways that you can build wealth. One thing that I don't have on here is term insurance. Term insurance, no cash value to it unless you get a return of premium, but it's a lot of times a lot cheaper to get that started. Now, there's different, people say like, I want term, I don't want term, different reasons to have each of these types of life insurance, but it all starts with that initial consultation. What's better for you? What can you afford? And kind of go through there. And all these options provide a death benefit. Yeah, questions?
Yes, excuse me. Does your company, like, so after like in having this consultation with you, does your company offer different types of whole life and universals and the different insurances? Do you offer them, or you can refer us somewhere else? And how would that work?
Yeah, so anything you see on this screen, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So we offer various life insurance policies, and sometimes I can tell you that you like one company may not be able to offer you what you want. So then what I do is go to a different company and see, okay, so we kind of shop it around, right? We're not just sticking with one. We're looking just like, diversification, choosing different options. So yeah, so to answer your question, yes, we can.
Okay. Even if you're close to 50, any of these will work.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Even if you're close to 50. Now, once you hit 50 years old, typically the price starts to go up a little bit. Well, it's always going to go up every year, but it just kind of gets that jump. But at the end of the day, like I said, that's the point to shop around. And it's never too late to get insurance. Reality is, we all, that we don't think we're going to live forever. But if you're feeling healthy right now, you're feeling great. You're not thinking about like, all right, I may pass away sooner than later. But when we have this conversation, we act as if, right? It's going to happen sooner, than later, because we just never know. Hopefully it never does, right? Or it doesn't, happen, soon. But at least we know that we planned for the future, which is a whole, morbid conversation to have. But it's definitely a conversation that's needed to have. I mean, I'm sure that we've all witnessed somebody on Facebook having a GoFundMe account, right? For somebody that passed away, because it's just not talked about. Life insurance is one of those concepts where we're not thinking about anybody else a lot of times, or it kind of gets to the back of our mind because we take so much time thinking about other people, right? So we got to think about the people in our house, first.
Linda, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I feel like we need a part 2. And really to dig deep in some things. But if I know a couple people have to jump off, if if anyone else has more questions, we can definitely answer. But can you put your information in the chat?
Yep. Yeah, sure can. Sure to put more information in the chat.
While you're doing that, I did find your picture for your book. So if you go to Amazon, let me just see if I can drag it in here. So in the chat, hopefully it'll go. I don't know if it'll go. Let's see. Okay, I put it in the chat, his book, what it looks like there. And it's also on the flyer that I have that you guys seen.
So that's my phone number, and we'll put my email address in here.
Because there's a lot here, but what I really love about what you're sharing with us is that it's you're not just like trying to sell us on something. You basically customize based on our needs, based on people's needs, so that they are in a space where they understand what works best for them, their life, their family, and their future. And so I appreciate that, because the other thing is, I know as educators and as teachers leaving out, just trying to figure, like it's just trying to figure out which option to take. it's tough. And so it may not, like you said earlier, it may not be a one size fits all. But I am so excited though, because I feel like many times because we don't know, you know how it says what we don't know won't hurt us. Well, that's not true. We do need to know some things. And so I appreciate you with that. But give us some final tips and
Sure.
strategies that we can take away.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So final tips is, or one, like I mentioned, start something. You know, it's never too late. A lot of people think it's too late to start. It's never too late to start. Come up with a plan. Decide on, what you want to do. What your goals are. So that way, if we're talking, and that's one of the questions I'm going to ask you. What are your goals? So I know like what we're working towards. And it's, at the end of the day, really, it's not always all about money. Because a lot of times I, meet with people, or other advisors are like, okay, money, 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 money. It's not, it's not always all about money, right? So, it's also about other things in life that are important as well. So what I want to get a feel for is like what all is important to you. And then we can kind of build around that. And just do your homework, right? Like I was mentioning before, if you have a particular company, do your homework on that company. Of course, I can always do it for you. We have analysts, people I work with that do get all this information. I can provide you with almost any information that you want, on a particular company. You just have to let me know. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the next series, and we'll have a lot more to talk about. Tell your friends and family to join in. Not trying to take your fire, Robin, but yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on your show.
Thank you so much for being here, guys. I'm trying to tell you, trying to figure it out on our own is just not the best. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Orlando. I put a survey in the chat. I am doing a series this fall, workshops. And so what are some topics that you want to know more about, so that you have that educator wellness? All these things matter. The reason, and sometimes we're like, oh, finances. I'm not a finance person, but I know that while I was in the school system and while I'm transitioning out of it or have transitions out of it, I worried about money. And where's my money going? What am I doing with it? And actually, when we're worrying about certain things, it does take a toll on us really doing our job well of what we really want to be doing, And so, Orlando, once again, thank you so much. I see you all that are on and asking questions and things like that. Please let me know if you want, what topics you want Orlando to talk about next time. And then also, what are you go ahead and do the one-on-one, and what are your topics? It doesn't have to be financial. It could also just be other speakers that you want to see as well. We can also have other speakers on. And this is like, we want to have wellness in the fall and go through the school year wonderfully, invite somebody out next time. These are free workshops that we are having. And so if you didn't register for this today, go ahead and register, and you'll see what's the upcoming dates. They will be those teacher talk Thursdays or Tuesdays, where we can talk about some issues that help us have self-care as educators. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Have a wonderful night. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube friends who are joining and Facebook friends who are joining.